On January 30th, 2026, a broad coalition of student groups, activists, and community organizations staged protests, walkouts, and general strike actions across the United States to condemn recent fatal shootings by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement (ICE) agents in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The demonstrations, planned for 250 locations in 46 states, reflect deepening anger nationwide over federal immigration enforcement tactics and a growing demand for policy change. The immediate spark for this wave of activism was two separate shootings involving federal immigration agents that resulted in the deaths of U.S. citizens in Minneapolis. In early January, ICE agents killed Renee Good, a 37-year-old mother of three, during an enforcement operation. Later in the month, federal officers shot and killed Alex Preddy, a 37-year-old intensive care nurse, as protests were already underway. Both shootings were captured on bystander video, fueling public outrage and questions about the use of force by immigration agents. Critics, including activists and local officials, say the incidents showcase what they describe as the aggressive tactics of armed federal officers deployed to Minnesota as part of a larger immigration surge under President Donald Trump's administration. Allegations of unjustifiable use of force have been backed by human rights organizations calling for accountability and independent investigations. Protest organizers, including the Black Student Union at the University of Minnesota and various immigrant rights groups, called for dramatic action on Friday. Under the slogan, "No work, no school, no shopping, stop funding ICE," participants were urged to participate in walkouts, strikes, and demonstrations. Supporters argued that disrupting normal economic and social activity was necessary to press for major reforms and to highlight what they see as systemic issues with federal immigration enforcement. In major cities such as New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, and Washington, D.C., protest events ranged from street marches and rallies to symbolic sit-ins at political landmarks. In the U.S. Capitol, dozens of demonstrators of various religious backgrounds were arrested during a sit-in at the Hart Senate Office Building as they pressed lawmakers to withhold funding for the Department of Homeland Security, the federal department that oversees ICE. Across the country, students played a prominent role in Friday's events. High school walkouts were planned in dozens of Georgia cities, and thousands of young people across multiple states took part in coordinated protests, emphasizing their rejection of both the shootings and broader immigration enforcement strategies. Many participants framed their action as part of a larger struggle for civil rights and justice. In some locations, businesses voluntarily closed in solidarity, and local communities participated in what activists described as a nationwide economic boycott to amplify the demonstration's impact. The protests come at a politically charged moment in the United States. President Trump returned to power following the 2024 election on a platform that included a hardline stance on immigration, leading to increased deployment of federal agents to border and interior regions such as Minneapolis. However, recent public opinion polls show a notable decline in approval of current immigration policies, in part due to widely circulating videos of enforcement operations perceived as heavy-handed. Federal immigration leadership has responded by indicating a shift toward more targeted operations and advising agents to reduce unnecessary engagement with protesters. But for many activists, these gestures fall short of what they see as structural problems in how immigration enforcement is conducted and overseen. With the protests spreading from coast to coast and support rising for further organized strikes and actions, the events of January 30th may represent a turning point in the national conversation over immigration enforcement, federal authority, and community rights. Whether political leaders respond with substantive policy changes remains a central question as the country grapples with the fallout from these highly publicized incidents.